Hello Year 3. This is going to be our novel while we are home learning, and it's called One Christmas Wish. It's by a lady called Katherine Rundell. Now what first attracted me to this book were all the beautiful illustrations. Can you see the front cover already beautifully designed, and the same on the back all the way through. And not only that, when you open it up and look inside, there are so many beautiful illustrations. They are done by a lady called Emily Sutton, and I'm going to try and show you the illustrations as I go through. There's some more. Now, the book title, One Christmas Wish, might start giving you some ideas as to what this story is about. There is another place you can look for ideas, and that is the blurb at the front of the book. Now, the blurb they put on to help entice you into reading. So this one says, "It's Christmas Eve and Theo, left at home with a babysitter, sees an odd-looking star out of his window. He decides to make a wish. He wishes that he had some friends to keep him company. Moments later, the Christmas decorations begin to disentangle themselves from the tree behind him, ready to wreak a little havoc." So that gives you a few more ideas as to what is going to be happening in this story. Now, we are going to put some questions for you to answer on Teams, just like we do in school when we do guided reading, and at the end we ask you different questions. These are going to be very similar to that. So we would love you to log into Teams and go online, find the guided reading activities and submit it to us so we can see what you think about this book as we go. Now, let's start at the beginning. Already it starts with a lovely illustration, and that there is our main character, Theo. It was Christmas Eve and Theodore was fighting a cardboard box. The box was winning. Someone had been very enthusiastic in their use of packing tape. Someone had thought it was important that the box stayed safe. The cotton wool was as old as the decorations themselves. It smelt of spices and old perfume. Most of the decorations were baubles, and most of the baubles had cracked in half. Theo frowned as he took them out. "You should not be able to cut yourself on Christmas," he muttered. "That's not in any of the Christmas carols." But at the bottom of the box there were 4 decorations that were different. A rocking horse, a robin, a tin soldier with a drum, and an angel. The angel's wings were molting, and the soldier's drum had rusted. The robin had developed a bald patch, and the rocking horse's rockers had been part eaten by woodworm. Theo hung them on the tree next to the lights, but didn't light. He wasn't tall enough to reach the high branches, so he tried throwing the angel at the top of the tree. When that didn't work, he wedged her in the branches. He arranged the broken baubles as best he could. Theo had found the box of decorations on top of a cupboard. His parents had had no time to buy new decorations. They had no time to buy a turkey. Both of them were at work. An envelope with gift vouchers inside was the only present under the tree. Theo tried to fold the envelope into a more exciting shape, but it didn't help much. "You mustn't stay up too late," his parents had said. "We'll be home tonight." "But as soon as you can, you absolutely promise." "We promise," his mother said, and stroked his cheek with one hand. Her other hand was hunting in her bag for her phone. "The babysitter will make you some mince pies. Won't that be nice?" Theo pulled a face. Nobody in the world actually likes mince pies, he thought, but he was a polite boy, so he only said, "Why isn't Mrs. Goodyear babysitting me?" "She didn't give a reason," his father had said. "She only said she couldn't do tonight, and she's getting rather old anyway. The neighbours say she's becoming a little peculiar." "I like her actually," he said. "I love her. Sometimes Mrs. Goodyear talked to herself, but she gave him chocolate cake with cheese, which was surprisingly delicious, and sang to him at bedtime." His parents had asked the babysitter to help Theo put up the decorations, but she had fallen asleep at the kitchen table with her nose pressed against her phone. Theo swallowed. He looked out of the window because it was less difficult than looking at the tree. As he looked, he saw a star. It was soaring across the sky, blinking red and green. There is Theo sitting at the window with his tree. And if you just look in the background, you can see the babysitter asleep at the kitchen table. "A shooting star," he whispered. His eyes closed, and clenched his fists and crossed his toes and bit down on his tongue. His father always said, when you wish, you have to wish with your whole heart. Theo thought about his heart beating hard under his 4 layers of jumpers. The house was cold because Theo couldn't reach the button for the heating system. He wished with every inch of his heart. I want not to be alone, he thought. He said it out loud. I wish for someone to be with. I wish to be unalone. He hoped shooting stars did not care about grammar. He wished so hard his skin prickled and tingled and his head spun. And we are going to leave it there. Tune in tomorrow to find out what happens, and don't forget to go onto Teams and fill out those questions and submit them to us to see what you think. Bye for now.